right, so I promised you some cool van tours. Man, have I got a special one for you today. Rover Vans, Chicagoland. And joining me today is the amazing owner. This is Piotr.
Wiktorczyk.
You haven't let him say that. Peter, and you spell Peter P-I-O-T-R. So that is not your traditional Peter. Is that, what kind of nationality is that?
Polish.
Polish. So Peter's been good enough to show us his van. Here, look at this. That's a reflection on a Transit. That's so beautiful. So maybe just tell us a little bit, Peter, about how you got into this. And you come from a really interesting background because you come from a building race car background and then really high-end bathroom and kitchens. So maybe just kind of introduce yourselves to the folks. And they're excited to meet, and they're really excited for the van. So van tour. So here we go.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so like you said, I actually used to race rally cars, and we used to build them here. So part of my kind of knowledge about cars comes from that. And my dad owned a body shop for a long time in the US here too. So I got a lot of my experience, you know, kind of hanging around cars, building them, working on them, and always kind of loved them. Somehow I shifted into the construction industry. So we're doing some really nice high-end bathrooms, kitchens, that kind of thing. And that kind of really ties well together when building a van.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, you're doing beautiful cabinets. You're kind of trying to create a beautiful space inside of a van and make it work with an automobile. So, yeah.
That's super cool. Just tell us a little bit about Rover Vans, your maybe your philosophy. There's a lot of van builders, some of the big guys like Winnebago that I run around in. Storyteller's kind of one of the better, smaller craft builders these days. What's your kind of philosophy on the vans?
Oh, man, I mean, you go in with a custom van, you're going to get so much better quality and more customization. The way we got started, it's actually kind of funny. My 9-year-old son at the time saw an outside van on a video, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, can you build me one of these?" So I was like, "Of course." So we built one, and then I realized how much better that was than an RV. We rent RVs all the time, and then we got our van, and was like, "Man, this is better." So yeah, that kind of escalated into me finding a shop and finding a few cool people to work with, and here we are.
So blame it on the kid, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. The kid wants to go camping and stuff versus playing video games, which he probably does anyway. But
He does.
he does. So let's flip and take us inside. Is that cool?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so here we are. We got the door open, and why don't you just kind of give us a little tour? This is a very different floor plan than I have, and people love floor plans. You know how floor plans enable your why you want an RV, so we just talk about it all the time on this channel. So, tour?
Sure.
Okay.
We partner up with Wilderness Vans from Canada on this build. They do some amazing work when it comes to furniture and systems, and just the way that they have their rib kit and the panels set up in the Ford Transit is amazing. And they were kind enough to partner up with us and supply basically all the furniture and all the paneling here, and then we kind of took it from there. This van, the idea was to kind of have a van instead of a car for me. So I needed a floor plan that will work where I can take 4 people, occasional camping, and 4 of us can sleep. So starting with that, we've got an amazing bed system that actually comes up and down.
Yeah,
I'll show you guys that. So you push a button, bed will come down. And the seat actually will turn into a bed as well. So then we can have 4 folks.
So like this right back here, right?
Correct.
So it folds down flat.
Yep. So 4 of us can be sleeping, and there's plenty of room like that. My original van, I actually had 1 bed, and it was kind of tight for a family of 4 to sleep in 1 bed. And then outside of that, it's a really nice open plan. So if you want to hang out in here, you've got a huge galley. You've got all the kind of necessities, I guess, of going camping. You have your fridge, you've got your sink, you've got your stove, a lot of cabinet space.
Love this. I wish I had that.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool.
That's European almost. That's so great. So propane, water.
Propane, water.
So who makes this? Oh, Dometic.
That's actually Dometic.
Love Dometic. That is what I want in my van. Why? Because it can clean.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If something boils over, you just move it this way.
Yep, and it's simple. And then you don't need a crazy battery system to run it. So we actually only have 200 amp hours in this one, and it does the job no problem. Fridge is a Norcold, very nice.
So a little tiny freezer, enough for a few martini ice
Correct.
cubes.
Yeah.
Again, not really a live-in van, but more of a weekender. And
More of a
church-
weekender. That's
yeah.
the idea behind this guy,
Yeah.
for sure. And then we're a pretty active family. We go biking and kiteboarding all the time, so I have a ton of storage in here. You know, starting with maybe back here. These little doors, they roll up, and then you can put all the kind of little stuff that you want to take with you.
And the roll-up is really clever because it exposes everything at once versus having to slide things back and forth or even bungee cord netting. It's really very clever. I've never seen that before. I like it a lot.
No, we like these too. And a ton of cabinet space as well. So you kind of check out what's going on under here.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the just the sink stuff goes.
Store your sponge.
Yeah. Everything is made out of Baltic birch, by the way. All Bloom hardware, so it's really, really high quality stuff. You lock it into position when you're driving. Under here is where we keep the water, very simple.
Sure.
Your gray and fresh water tanks.
So fresh is here, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
How many gallons?
I think it's 7 liters, so whatever that.
Whatever
Turns out
gallons
to
that
be.
is. Okay, I love
I
it. The
don't know.
gray. Okay,
Yep.
super simple, as you say. Again,
Yeah.
not a live-in, meant for just
Yeah.
almost a full-time car that you take cool places.
Yeah, I would say this is a car that we replaced the minivan, you know, so way cooler than a minivan.
Way cooler.
Yeah,
For sure. I just love
So,
this. It
no,
feels
the-
so good. I wish you could feel this.
the cabinets are beautiful.
It's just stunning. And I love this here where you've exposed the
The Baltic birch.
yeah, the multi-birch, and it has this really nice, really high-quality feel. This is just beautiful here.
Yeah,
Now, tell us, so how tall are you? And this is...
I'm 5'9",
5'9".
so I almost touch the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a mid-roof transit though. Cool thing about the mid-roof is like it's
What-
a mid-roof instead
Mid-roof.
of a high roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for my height, works perfect. You can get this in the high roof, which is about 10 inches higher. I chose this one. It looks a little more off-roady. I think it's a little bit easier to drive in high winds. And I wanted to kind of like get as much in the smallest van that I can.
That's so cool. Now, tell us about this. I've seen a similar approach, like with Storyteller, and so you have fabric on the walls,
Yeah, so we've
fabric
got-
on the ceiling.
correct, it's
So
all-
Tell us about this, and then insulating, because folks are really interested in insulated.
Yeah, so we use two types of insulation. We use Hevlock wool, which is all natural. We stuff a lot of that stuff in, and there's like 3 bags stuffed in everywhere. And on the ceiling we use Thinsulate, which again is a product that has been used in vans for a long time and tried, and we know that it works. Yeah, we've got some AMA windows in here, and
Yeah, tell us about that. That's
yeah,
cool.
so
AMA, what's that stand for?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But
Cool
that's
windows.
that's the company. What I like about these is the huge opening, and then you still have the bug net.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful window.
And I like that they do open. Some manufacturers don't make them open, but I just love the fresh breeze. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you can feel it pouring in with the ceiling fan going
Correct.
full blast.
And then this we took kind of from my, I guess, home building experience and incorporated a nice shade.
Oh yeah.
It's very nice. It provides the blackout that you need and quick up and down. So that actually, believe it or not, we got at Home Depot.
That's good old Home
Yeah.
Depot. And this is really, again, really a nice touch here. I know this area of the transit is really hard to deal with. Right?
It really is. So we actually ended up custom making this entire piece. We think it worked out pretty well. We're still kind of like toying with how to finish these areas. But this one turned out pretty nice.
And I'm seeing you've screwed this together really well, but it's kind of industrial, but feels custom. Feels not like ratchet together in a
Yep, we feel like, we actually like the black screws. I feel they kind of like added to the look a little bit more. And picks up from the black exterior of the van.
Yeah. Tell us about the table. Lagoon table's kind of all the rage.
Lagoon table. Again, beautiful Baltic birch finish with wilderness vents.
So pretty.
It's a really big table, nice and sturdy, and there's like
Good
so much
size.
room in
It's
here.
not too
Yeah,
big, but it's not too small. You can get 2 people eating dinner on that real easy,
yeah,
right?
very comfortable.
Even acts as a little bit of a counter extension if you've got a bunch of stuff going on here. Counter extension if you need that,
Yeah, and it comes out of the way super easy too.
right?
And then you still have all this room to hang out. So,
Now you demonstrated your seat the other day. We're not going to have you do it here, but again, you kind of flip the back up.
Yep.
And then
This part comes off.
Yep.
This part comes forward, down, and then you kind of got to reattach this part and forward. Takes 5 minutes, and then you got a bed.
Or 3 if you get good at it.
Maybe 3. Yeah.
So when you opened up this cabinet here, Peter, we saw some electronics. So tell us about the energy system. How do you deal with electrical? Solar on top, lithium batteries, all that
Yeah.
business?
So we got all Renogy equipment in here. That's a 2,000 watt inverter. That kind of powers whatever high voltage you need, in the van. So we got 2 plugs. One is on the cabinet, which is right there. And then we have one in the back of the van. And yeah, we're running a Renogy lithium system. I'm actually happy to show that to you.
Okay.
Renogy, yeah.
Renogy,
Renogy lithium. Yeah, we can go to the back. I can show you
Yeah,
that.
let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, you're doing good, man.
Cool. So Wilderness actually created this cabinet to hold all the electronic stuff in one spot. So what you're looking at here is,
Yeah, what are you looking at?
yeah, each one of these batteries is 100 lithium. They are self-heated too, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about them in the winter. This little guy, it controls the power coming in from the roof. We have 2 solar panels on the roof, 100 watts each. That can be expanded if needed. And then that acts as a battery-to-battery charger as well. So whenever you turn the van on, the alternator from the van is charging the batteries at the same time too.
So not a second alternator, it's using what's existing and
Correct.
a little bit of current.
Yeah, we find that the existing alternator is plenty enough to power these 2 batteries, charging these 2 batteries. And then we have a simple Norco charger. You plug that into the shore power whenever you're camping, and that will charge the batteries as well.
So I am not So as you all know, I am not an electrician. I am not a craftsman, but this stuff for some reason always gets me excited. It's just so sexy to see these things and how you guys put this stuff together. It's just really, really awesome.
Yeah.
Was it hard to kind of figure this stuff out, or you?
So it's funny, like when you look at it, I guess it would look complicated because there's just so much going on, but it really is really simple. And Renogy does a good job of making it super like plug and play.
Yeah.
So no, once you kind of figure it out, it's pretty easy.
So you'd mentioned upgrades. So if you want to put more solar up on top, or you want bigger batteries, is there a way to put more so people can stay out longer off grid? Is that?
Yeah, definitely. There's room for plenty of more solar panels. You can get 2 more, 4 more, depending on the needs. And then we can fit 2 more batteries in the system in the cabinet if needed. So upgrade to 400 amp hours if someone wants to do that. But I find for a weekender, this is plenty enough.
Yeah, and as you're running around, it charges this a little bit, so it's and from the side.
Yeah, my first van, we had a 100 amp battery, and I never ran out of power.
Never have power.
So
But it does not have AC.
it does not have AC, no.
So Chicago gets hot for a couple months a year, and then
Then you
you're
don't need it.
fighting winter.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting point. So electricity needs AC needs electricity. What about how do you kind of treat heat in the colder months?
Yeah, so we use a Webasto heater. Forget the exact model. I believe it's the STC 2000.
So it's right underneath here.
We put it right underneath there. And the cool thing about these is they plug into the fuel tank and run on the fuel from the van. That used to be a diesel option, but only, but not anymore, which is really nice. You just there's a fuel port that you can buy from Ford. Plug that into a tank, run a fuel line, run a power line, and you get yourself heat. Yeah.
That's so cool. So no propane on board.
No propane on board.
Which is kind of nice. I'm actually warming up to the whole idea. That's pretty interesting. How do you do the gas stove then?
That has a little one of those green tanks you can buy.
Coleman thing.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Which would last forever if you're frying an egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. But again, the really different layout here. Sorry, the sun's kind of weird. I just love this situation right here. You got a little cover that's going on over this. One more thing to do. So it's almost for customer delivery. So
almost.
That's in the works there. Don't freak out, people. But I just love how open this is. Again, ton of garage storage space. Super important for me. Again, a lot of storage here, which is great. And just look, carpet all the way behind. Just so beautiful. I wish you guys could feel this because it just feels rugged but luxurious. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I love the color scheme. It's really, really, I've never seen one like this before. It's just so beautiful. Shows your craftsmanship in the in the bathroom and kitchen space. how is it that you have a tire and a
Yeah, so that actually is that's probably my favorite part of the van, just because this was something that we designed and my dad built for us. So that's the tire ladder carrier system. Two things: when you run off-road tires, they no longer fit underneath the van. So if you ever get a flat tire, you kind of have to have it either inside or figure something out like we have here. Very easy to access. You simply undo this little guy, pop the tire off, and you can change the flat if you want. And it looks pretty cool on the back of the van, kind of gives it a more off-road look. And then dual purpose. We're not the first ones that came up with it, but you can get up on the roof. So we got these little bike pads here. So simply up and you're on the roof.
So what is it about van life like to be up on the roof?
Right? I don't know. It's just cool. You can kind of be like,
I know, right?
yeah.
Now you make this for transit only?
Yeah, we make it for transit only. We're gonna kind of see how it goes. We started looking at a setup for ProMaster, and then I'm sure we'll get to a Sprinter. Seems like every manufacturer starts with a Sprinter, so we kind of wanted to start with transit market because I like the transit. I think it's a great platform. I think, yeah, you get a lot. Kind of hard. I mean, Sprinters are beautiful vans. But you get a little bit more for your money, I think. I like that you can have a gas option as opposed to a diesel. Yeah. And they drive great. I just really like the Transit.
This is the inlet for the...
That's to just simply plug in and charge your batteries. Yep. Okay. So very simple setup. Plug in an extension cord.
Yeah, it's not even a normal 30 amp
Nope.
thing. That's just a regular old...
Yeah. So you can plug in anywhere. You can get one of those conversion plugs if you're at a campground, or you can plug in your house. Cool. Yeah.
So continuing on the outside, so you got some really awesome tires here.
Yep.
We saw the spare. Maybe just tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, probably the most popular tire you can get is that's the BF Goodrich KO2s.
KO2s.
Yeah, they're awesome. We've been getting on our rental units about 45,000 miles on them. They work great. They actually improve the ride, which is surprising for an all-terrain tire. But they really do. And then take them off-road. They're soft enough. They do okay in the winter. This is probably the only kind of do-it-all tire that I found to do okay in all kinds of different seasons.
Yeah, that's amazing. And size? Any idea what the size is?
Yeah, I think it's a 245, 75, 16.
So I think they're 1 inch bigger than mine.
Possibly, yeah. And yeah, with the Ford Transit, with the two-wheel drive, they will rub just a tiny little bit if you're braking and turning at the same time, but nothing that will damage the tire. In the rear, they don't rub. I find this is a good size for him.
And this little guy down here is?
Yeah, so that's the exhaust for the Webasto heater.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the heater exhaust, and to empty your tanks, you just simply take them out of the van and you fill it and empty them in a standard sink that would accommodate that. And bathroom inside? No?
No, we have a cassette toilet. It's not in there right now, but it stores inside of the cabinet. We're really looking forward. There's a company I think called Campo. They're going to have the one of these, I forget, toilets that mix in with dirt, like a composting toilet that's in a really small package. Okay. So we're going to fit those in once they become available.
Okay, interesting. But certainly not a primary bathroom. It would be a secondary kind of a...
No, again, like this is just a weekender. This is a van that I wanted to create for someone like me, where they have a family and they want a cool van instead of a minivan.
So it sleeps 4, maybe even 5. You said.
Maybe.
Somebody sits up front and just runs you around doing all your cool things.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's look up the front just a little bit. Look how cool that looks.
That is pretty cool.
That's so cool. Okay, so continuing along. So the windows, so you're not cutting windows in specifically?
So we did this conversion out of a passenger van. So all the openings were already done for us. Okay. When we get a cargo van, sometimes they have an optional window. So you just take that one on and glue this one in. And if they don't, then we cut.
Okay. So you can do all that right there. So I noticed your lights here. So tell us about these. Other than looking super cool, how...
Yeah, so that's a rigid light. These are spotlights, I believe. I just kind of threw them on because I thought they looked pretty cool. They do help quite a bit when driving through a forest road with no lights. Yeah. They give a lot more light. I don't have any specs on them. The brackets are by Van Compass. They make these. They're nice, super easy to put on.
Yeah, those look great.
Yeah, they are designed for the Transit.
Notice that you have an awning, so maybe tell us about the awning.
Yeah, so this one is a Goal Zero, or no, 23-0. So 23-0 awning, and it's a 270, which means basically it comes out to the left and right. You do need a small...
Whoa. Run that by me again?
Yeah,
so it's not mechanical.
It's not mechanical.
Not motorized.
Not motorized.
And you say it comes out like, swings out this way.
So it'll swing out this way and to the back.
Like a bat wing then.
Kind of like a bat wing, yeah.
I've seen those before.
Yeah, in fact, the guys named the van bat van after we put that on. I'll be happy to show you, but you do need a small stool to set it up.
That's okay. But that's really cool. Because I was kind of curious about the size, because it's different.
Yep.
So it goes out that way.
Correct.
On the van, and then up front on this way. So it covers the entire area.
It covers more than the entire van.
Yeah. So great. Foot running board. You don't do that.
We don't have one. It's in this van. It's not. This one is not lifted, so we don't really find a need for it.
Sure.
Can definitely put one in if needed.
That's great. Okay, let's do. Yeah, and thanks for demoing the turnaround seats. Clearly opens up the cab quite a bit more.
Oh yeah, a lot more. I mean, you can sit here and, I mean, you can't even touch the people sitting over there.
Right. This is the timeout chair for the kids.
Yeah. I mean, imagine going to a soccer game, and 45 minutes before the game so the kids can warm up and then you got nothing to do. Hang out in the van. You can do a little bit of work. You can just hang out and do nothing. You've got your fridge. So whatever your beverage choices and whatnot. On skiing trips, this thing is awesome. I mean, you keep it warm in the parking lot. We've stayed overnight in parking lots on ski trips, which I think is like, I mean, who does that, You go skiing and then stay overnight and then start skiing first thing in the morning.
Everything's toasty with that amount of insulation. You're going to have no issues.
No issues at all, no.
Peter, right above your head is this really awesome thing. Tell us about that.
That?
Yeah.
That is simply a 3D printed kind of cover, and it's got a logo in it.
I love it.
Serves no purpose other than
decoration.
Decoration, yeah.
Symbol of pride. So cool. So Peter, just a big thanks again for taking time out of your day. You got a lot of business going on right now, and I'm really, really happy you joined us. So people probably have a few questions. How can they find out more about you? Number one.
Yeah, rovervans.com.
So Rover Vans, R-O-V-E-R Vans.com. We'll put those in the show notes down below. We'll link them out for you.
We're on Facebook, on Instagram.
Okay. The usual suspects there.
Yes.
And the question everybody's begging to get answered is, how much do one of these bad boys cost, and how soon can I get one? So let's talk about cost. Some van builders do a build-out range and then plus the van, because there's so many options on the Transit for sure, right? So how do you approach that?
So we actually like our customers to get their van and bring it to us.
BYOV.
Yeah. This way, you only pay taxes on the purchase of the price of the van. And it kind of lets us offset that cost, not have to come up, purchase the van for the client and then, add any profit or whatever on top of that.
Yeah.
And build outs are all different. For something like this with this battery system, you're gonna be right around $50,000, give or take. So if you find a nice, say all-wheel drive Transit medium option, you're gonna be around $50,000 for a van, and not a 50 for a build out like this.
Yeah. So. And super quality. So, and I've heard of some van builders like you doing kind of a DIY assist. So I can put in cabinetries on my own. I bought my own van, put the bedding in, but maybe I want the more complex lithium system. How do you do that, or do you even do it at all?
Yeah, so right now we're not doing that just because we're so busy building vans, and I want to concentrate on doing one thing well. And we're booked.
What's about availability? So I kind of like the BYOV, Bring Your Own Van. Yeah. So assuming I bring one in today, we schedule how far out? And
we're scheduling about 3 months out at the moment. So basically the way things work, and which is why I really like working with Wilderness, you would bring your own van, and then work on the design, what you want in the van, what finishes, colors, and power system, whatever. Put down a deposit, and then we order everything. And it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to get everything into the shop. And then once we have everything, you bring your van, it's 4 to 5 weeks, and you're off camping.
That is so amazing. So fairly quick.
Fairly
actually.
quick, yeah. We're I think we're 4 or 5 builds out at the moment. We have the capability of doing 2 vans at one time. We're hopefully gonna go to 3 or 4 vans pretty soon.
Well, vans are super hot, as
Yeah.
everybody knows, and it's just so delightful to see yet another approach to cool vans. I've never been in a Sprinter that was this roof level, so this was really kind of new to me. I can stand up in it, but it makes it cozier, I think.
Yeah.
The really tall Transits just really don't work for some, and you're kind of a Transit go-to. So you're doing Transit and then ProMaster and Sprinter, kind of
Correct, yeah,
opposite
but
of
we're
everybody else.
definitely specializing in the Transit right now.
Yeah.
We can do it as Sprinter, ProMaster, but I like the Transit.
Like a Transit.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, thanks again for everything, and hit him up. Give a like, of course. Comment below. This kind of van situation, something you would like, maybe you can comment. If you want more van content, guys, you guys subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. So, Peter, thank you. And before you go, we have a special guest. So one of the members of Peter's team joined us today, and we're going to walk through his van again. So you don't want to miss that video. Ryan's been good enough to broom out his van again to give us a tour of that. So, until we see you soon, I wish you to journey on.